We are in Big D checking out Little D. That would be Thunderbird Pies. We are over here in East Dallas, right in a nice little strip just east of downtown, and we're checking out Thunderbird Pies. All right, these are supposed to be Detroit-style pizzas. As you can see, these guys are open every day of the week. They've got lots of promos, brunch, all kinds of cool things. So let's go on and check it out. Before we go in, they've got two sizes. They've got a small and a large. Obviously, I'm going to opt for the large. And they also just came out with something new called a tavern-style thin crust. We're going to talk more about what a Detroit-style pizza is. We just talked to the chef, Johnny. Johnny was super nice and inviting. You notice as you come in, they got lots of great stuff for families, games for kids, whack-a-mole. Look, that guy's got a mohawk. Little rascals, huh? Really cool artwork on the walls. Obviously, I'm checking in here in the afternoon, 3 hours after lunch, so we got this whole place to ourselves. Right next door is another concept of theirs called Cane Rosso. And here we go again. How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
So we got Chef Nifong, Jim Nifong again, that's here with us. Last week we were over at Fortunate Son in Garland checking out some really good, man. I had leftovers. I reheated it on the stove. New Haven style. Oh my gosh, I was just so blown away. So, you know, as we were finishing up there last time, Chef Nifong, Jim, said, hey, you know what? One spot you guys need to check out is Vector Brewing or Thunderbird Pies. And we landed on Thunderbird Pies today, home of a Detroit-style pizza. Looks like right over here, this is, which pizza did you get?
The honey bastard. It's got sopressata, hot honey. I think there's sausage on there too, yeah.
That looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's got
habanero honey.
A habanero honey that just glistens. It smells amazing. I opted for a larger size. Again, you can always get the thin crust. We opted for the Detroit. That's why we're here. And I got half cheese, and the other half is the S&P 500, which looks to be homemade sausage, cup pepperoni, which I'm excited. I haven't had cupped pepperoni in a hot minute. And before we dive into this, let's do a cheers. Thunderbird has really great frozen margaritas. Oh, wow. Delicious, top notch. Not too acidic. It's always worse when you get like margaritas that have a lot of fake syrup.
Blend the mix properly or thin it out.
And you get real bad heartburn. Oh. All right, so let's talk about Detroit style dough. We were just talking with Chef Johnny, and he was giving us a rundown. He was super cool. He didn't have to come out and talk to us. And I asked him, I was like, you hear a lot of people describe Detroit style dough as like a focaccia style dough, but in relativity, it is not. It's made and prepared differently. He was giving us the rundown where he makes it one day and balls it, and then after that proofs, he'll take it out and stretch it into a square pan. Now, I was reading about, which makes this fun, it's called Detroit style pizza because apparently they used to use these blue squares from the factory that apparently, you know, cars, Detroit, GM Motors, all that stuff. So that's how it kind of got that Detroit name, is because it came from a factory tray. So moving forward, he kind of stretches it into a pan and then he lets that sit over for a whole day. Oh, wow. So after he stretches it, he lets it sit in a tray. It proofs then again, and then they par cook it. And then from there, when you're going to order it, that's where they go ahead and top it. Now, what makes Detroit style interesting also is that typically the sauce goes underneath the cheese, and obviously you can see at home that this is going on top of it. Real light, real airy, like Jim was saying. I'm gonna go ahead and crack into this guy. It's nice and hot. Their staff was super cool here. We had Erica take care of us. can't believe how light it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you think it's going to be heavy and dense, but it's super light, super airy. That's that long fermentation.
Oh my God. Bao chicken wow wow. Best part, as we all know, the crust.
Yep.
It's all like cheese and
Well, that fried cheese on the sides is what makes it special.
God. That is fantastic. I thought it was going to be real dense because when you look at this, it looks very similar to almost like a Sicilian pizza. And then if you go a little bit deeper than that, you're starting to get into deep dish, which I'm hearing there's a little place in Venus, Texas. Watch out for Uranus. Yeah, Venus, Texas. And they're from Chicago, and they have been killing it. A little ma and pa, or little husband and wife duo. Definitely need to fire up the bike and go check that out. I guess Venus is like southwest of Fort Worth or something, like 20 or 30 minutes, kind of over by Mansfield. But Chicago, it would be the deepest one. So it's really interesting because it's almost thinner than a Sicilian and way lighter.
Right.
Way lighter. Man. So there's sister restaurants of Thunderbird Pizza here today, and one of them is next door, and that restaurant is called what, Chef? I'll make you say it.
You always catch me when I'm eating.
Right?
Cane Russo.
Cane Russo. So they do a Neapolitan style pizza, 00 flour, 90 seconds. It's got to have the right tomatoes, the right cheese, the right flour, the right oven, and it's an arduous test. And they're literally, we can see them, they're getting ready to open across there. We have not hit them either, so let's put that on the checkout tank. If I had another stomach, I would say, hey man, let's go hit that. It's a perfect day, it's beautiful out here. And then they have one other concept, I believe that there might be one more Zoli's,
Right.
and that's their New York style. And then I believe they had Cowtown Creamery for a minute too, but I don't know if that's still open in Fort Worth. But I know COVID affected a lot of the restaurants, but
It hurt a lot of people.
the group is called PILF. You know, pizza I'd like to become friends with. I can't say what the real acronym of that, but the owner is Jay Jerrier, super fantastic guy. What's really cool about coming into his restaurants is he starts them all basically as pop-ups. And he started Cane Rosso next door by basically pulling around a giant Italian pizza oven that got up to like 1,000 degrees, maybe hotter than that. 1,500, yeah. And from there was enough hype that he ended up opening his first.
And I think they still will wheel that out for events and catering.
Yeah, I've seen it just recently. Speaking of that, I just talked to, again, Chef Johnny, and maybe we'll get him to come in over here, but their corporate chef that does all the restaurants is talking about them bringing back, or kicking off officially, I should say, their cheesesteak. Now, everybody knows cheesesteaks is all about that bread. What is it, Amarola bread or whatever from New Orleans is supposed to make it the best. And when I had just talked to Chef Johnny, he was saying that they're looking at bringing that back and putting it on the menu. So, you know, looking at this restaurant group, everything that they do, if there's a cheesesteak coming, you know it's going to be top notch. You know they're going to make their own bread. Chef Johnny was talking about using prime ribeye, prim steaks to shave their beef. So I'm on the lookout for that. I think Dallas is way overdue. I know there's Vontae's cheesesteak in Fort Worth. There's Stevie D's in Arlington. I'm sure the truck yard gets thrown a lot around.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had theirs in a long time.
I haven't either.
It was good.
Since the Greenville days. So, you know, we're excited for that to come because I feel like that's a huge slot.
Maybe this fall when it cools off.
Yeah, hopefully they're going to drop that, man. That would be great. Either checking out the truck yard again, or hopefully Pilf will drop theirs, the restaurant group. Now, in this area, we've got one more really cool restaurant. You said you passed driving in here. And what was that called?
Burger Schmurger.
Burger Schmurger. Burger Schmurger, apparently at Chefs for Farmers, was it last year or 2 years ago?
I think 3 years ago.
Oh, wow, it's been that long.
Years, yeah.
It was the year Dallas College was there. I remember that, and they won the bite of the whole festival. And shortly after that, they were doing a pop-up with some guys that own like the Whippersnapper and High Fives. Philip, I'm going to probably say his last name wrong. It's not Schlitterbaum, but it's something very long like that. But they just finally got that brick and mortar. That's right around the corner. So this...
They've been there 3 months, 6 months. They've been there a little while.
That's
Not a long time.
That's amazing. All right, I'm going in for the S&P 500. Now with the meat, I'm going to sit there and say right now, this guy feels a little bit girthier. Wow. You think it'd be really dry because the sauce isn't directly underneath the cheese? That is one of the most juiciest bites, but yet the bottom was still crisp and crunchy. Now again, I think other places that serve Detroit style I've heard of is a place called Jets. Jets.
And they're actually right up here on Northwest Highway.
So they got a couple of spots then, Jets.
Yeah, they're a chain. They're all over the country.
No kidding. I thought that they were just like
No,
a
when we
regional
were
thing
in,
here.
I was in Boulder in May, and they had a Jets there.
No kidding. So they're outside of Texas. Okay.
And they have 3 or 4 different styles of pizza. So it isn't. They don't do just one style.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can pick what style of crust. So that's
Get
their
multiple
shtick.
styles and they try 'em. I haven't had it yet, but it's on the list to visit.
Man. See, now I just learned something today. Jets, I really thought was just a DFW, and that's a really neat concept too. The idea of coming in and thinking to yourself, all right, like, you know, obviously here at Thunderbird, you can get a thin tavern style or you can get the Detroit style, but to be able to probably get a thin crust also there, New York style, probably a Sicilian deep dish, Detroit.
I have to look it up and see. I've looked at their website before. It's interesting.
That's incredible, man. So out of 5 being 5 stars, how would you rate the Detroit?
It's fun.
Man, I'm gonna have to say 2.
It's the kind of thing you want to eat in, because I've picked them up and taken them home, and you know, just once you put a pizza in the box, it steams and it's not
the same, right?
as happy.
It's not as happy. It loses some of the personality.
It loses that crisp crunch that these things have.
So right now our list, the #1 New Haven, Fortunate Son, #1 Detroit style pizza is going to Thunderbird. Obviously we can still go check out Jets and other ones, but right now these guys are champ. Chef, it's always a pleasure. Where should we go to next?
I'll get some ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll make the viewers at home have to wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much to Jay Jerrier, the Pilf Group, Chef Kenny, and guys, come out and check out Thunderbird Pies. We'll see you soon.